Just waiting. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the Round 6 Saints TV match review. Just getting into my car. Just finishing up from Marvel Stadium. Round 6 against the Crows. And we lost. First loss that I've been to this season. First loss that, you kind of were like, oh, that's how shit we were in 2018. Right. That's kind of what it felt like at times tonight. Was like we went away from everything that we kind of have built up over the last 4 or 5 weeks. And, on the big stage at home, fairly decent crowd, considering it was an interstate club that we're playing. For once we were favourites. Media slowly getting on the positive side of what Richo and the team are doing. And we dish up that, and that's the most disappointing thing. I to be fair, I'm usually pretty bad after losses, pretty bad at taking them. But for some reason, I don't feel angry with this loss. I just feel kind of why did we have to serve that? Why couldn't we come out and just finish the job in that first term? And that's really the main focus for me, is that first quarter. We were all over them in that first 15 minutes. When Parker kicked that goal and we went, I think, 15 points up, it was 21-6. We looked like we were cruising. We looked like we were on top of them, comfortable with the pace of the game. We were getting them on the outside. We were clean with the ball. We were frenetic in our endeavour to tackle and put pressure on the opposition. And then from about the last 10 minutes of the first all the way through to midway through the fourth, it was all Adelaide, really. And I know we kind of got ourselves back into the game in that third quarter. We got it within 11 points at three-quarter time, and I thought, okay, they're building for a big last quarter, and then Adelaide came out and just fucking annihilated us. And I can't really put my finger on what they did. They were just, that's how Adelaide of 2017 that made the grand final. That's that Adelaide from 2 years ago, and how good they can play. They're field kicking, they slowed it down, they chipped it around, they played around our zone, and we didn't really come up with sort of a plan B as to how to deal with that. And I think that even when Loney went down, which is terrible news, Marshall being withdrawn prior to the game, and Longer coming in, it threw us out even more. Josh Bruce had question marks over him, and you could clearly see that there was something wrong with Josh Bruce playing tonight. Long coming off with a sore shoulder, playing out the game. Jack Stevens still not 100%. I'm not picking excuses, but we were semi-unsettled going into this game. I thought, we were at 50% today, I reckon. The fact that we can look at the scoreboard and be like, wow, 29 points doesn't look that bad. That's the only thing I can pick as an improvement, that we didn't let it blow out. I know we kicked a couple of junk time goals. But, last year and every other time we've played Adelaide, they seem to just smash us. No matter what sort of form we're in, they always seem to give us a problem. And they did it today. And we made Tex look like Wayne Carey. Tom Lynch kicks him from the boundary. Eddie Betts marking and goaling. It was just everything that I didn't want to happen happened. And that was the most disappointing thing for me. I know that the boys tried their hearts out and gave it their all. But, there's certain players, and, Longer I thought did okay. To be fair, guys, let's not pick on Longer too much, because remember, he was just an emergency. He was not expected to play, and anytime Marshall's fit, Longer doesn't play. Simple as. So we just had to deal with it in this game. And I thought, what better week when they've got someone like O'Reilly in the ruck who's not Sam Jacobs, who would have killed Longer. It was another young gun, young up-and-coming sort of ruckman. And I thought, if you look at the stats, Longer almost broke even. He did okay. He did as much around the ground as O'Reilly. He just got less hit outs, and that's why his ranking was a bit lower. Billings, these big name players that they've said they've turned the corner and want to take the responsibility on their shoulders. They didn't do that. Sebros, I thought, had a mare. I thought he was, he finished with a good 26 disposals, but he just didn't stand up when the heat was on. And the one thing that sticks out to me is that that moment in the Adelaide forward line where he needed to go and spoil the ball, and the opponent just took an easy mark, and luckily he missed. But it's that sort of endeavour that was slightly lacking today. I'm just disappointed because we started so well, basically, guys. We played a better team. They were switched on from that point on, and they backed their game plan 100% the whole way through, and we wavered. We kind of went for the game plan, but then we didn't. And yeah, it's just Parker's goal was amazing. Probably the highlight was his marks and his goals. Kicked 3. Dean Kent, after last week, different player. Absolutely shocking. I don't know if he needs to play his old team every week to be good, but basically every game he's played apart from last week, he's struggled, So there are players like a Nick Hind, there are players like Robbie Young, that are in the Sandy team that are looking for those opportunities, and I think he's given them a big chance. Loney being injured might mean that he keeps his spot, but they bring in someone else for Loney, but he's very lucky to be in the team, and I'm hoping that this is a reality check. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that we use this as a learning opportunity and we don't all go nuts. I'm actually feeling pretty calm. I don't know why a few of the comments saying Saints TV relax. I'm actually feeling fairly relaxed about this. I think that we can learn from this, and I think only losing by 29 points is okay. Percentage-wise, it's not going to affect us. I think we will still probably be in the 8 by the end of the round. So I'm not going to get to... You could see that we were trying to do something. It just didn't come off. The things that were coming off last week and every other week, they didn't come off, and that's as simple as. I thought the backline did their best. Wilkie was okay, but you see the importance of missing a Geary who controls the backline, the importance of Marshall as another midfielder in the middle, and Loney as a pressure forward in the forward line, and them all not being there really threw us off, and the responsibility fell on players that didn't take it today, and that was the one thing that just kind of got to me, that no one really wanted to take the game on the scruff of the neck and be like, come on, fucking let's go. Umpiring was a bit iffy, but I'm not going to blame that. There were some shit calls there. They gave us some easy... You can see how the umpires give you junk time goals at the end. They control the games, That stuff that we got at the end, Membry's 50, they don't pay that if the scores are level and there's a minute to go in the game. They'll never pay that. They just paid it because it doesn't matter, gets Membry a goal. It's just shit like that upsets me about the umpires. But all in all, I'm just disappointed because we had a huge opportunity to go 5-1 to consolidate our position in the 8, in the top 4 to be fair, and we just were lacking so much. Let's go through some of these comments. There's a few of them, so let's go through them. Matt Jones says, pathetic Saints. It was a wake-up call. Be back bigger and better next week. Shane says that was shit. Bombing away again, just crap. Kent has to go. I agree with you on the bombing front. We went back to just the bomb happy. Like, Shane Savage has had a good season, a great season even, but he went to just the running and then bombing it 50 metres up, 40 metres out. It does not help anyone. Chris is absolutely shattered, gutted. Matt says piss poor performance in the second half. You got to lose some to learn, is what Chris says. Andreas says Saints are still 4th on the ladder. The season isn't over yet. I never said it was. Tom says must win in Canberra next week. Freo did it. No reason why we can't. Miguel just says don't bother with the review. We were shit, predictable, and looked sloppy. The umpiring was a joke in the first half, and Walker is a protected species. The game is too hard to control, and the umpires have clearly lost it. Chris has got to lose some to learn, and hopefully we bounce back. Gary says it's going to take a few years. Don't expect too much too soon. Sean says loaning out early hurt us. I thought it did. Player down. But I guarantee you, watch this. We win. Hawks have players down. No mention of us being good, and it's all about Hawthorn. Do you think anyone will mention that we were a rotation down from the first quarter? Will anyone mention that in the media? No one. They will praise Adelaide. They will kill us in the press, and they won't mention that at all. I'm sure it didn't have a massive call on the the scoreboard, but I'm just saying they won't mention it. But they will for their favourite teams all the time. Wayne says outplayed by a side with better skills. Nick says disappointed we let them pile on goals in the fourth. Percentage going to be important towards the end of the season. Hopefully we use it for fuel against GWS. Go Saints. Julio says, fair go, mate. Loney's injury changed all the momentum. We would have lost by 100 points last year. Too harsh on this one. Miss Marshall, big time, can't win with only one forward. They just use the footy better. Longer has to go as well. No good, says Shane. Leone says, I hate those unattractive, arrogant flogs. Unbearable. Yeah, to be fair, I had one of them in front of me today, and the second they got 30-odd up in the last, a few Saints left, and he was saying, oh, you're like Port Adelaide supporters leaving early, and I had to say, I can't not say something, and I'm like, mate, we're not all that bad, you know, I'm going to watch the game, and then he didn't have anything to say, but I just can't stand people like that. I'm never like, see ya, you know, clapping people that leave, because they're upset that their team's losing. Just let them be. Your team's winning, enjoy that. There's no reason to get in other people's faces at the game. Lance, I hope it shows the Geary haters just how important he is, the 1%ers that he does. He was missed. Jack Loney's the heart and soul of this team, and it showed. Crouch brothers hammered us in the clearances again and again, and a won and lost in the middle. Got to get in quick. It was a game Saints should have won. Poor effort, outcoached. Was a good first quarter, just need to hit chest. Ryan says, relax Saints TV. Beaten by a side who played in a grand final a couple of years ago. We weren't expected to make the 8, but we've played out our skin the first month. Just beaten around the ball and clearances. Walker killed us down back. Geez, we missed Gary. Don't be so negative, Saints fans. Great to see us playing good footy, except today. Good comment, I'll take that. If we played 80% of what we have been, we would have won that. Bailey says, pressure led off today. Really missed Geary and Marshall. Simply outplayed. Disappointed, but not disgraced. Missing a few players didn't help. Losing Loney certainly lost our momentum. We are close to being a finals team. Patrick says, thought we had no dare. Kept bombing it down the line when we were getting smashed in the air. Needed to run to open the side. That's one thing I noticed. We talked about it last week being the great thing that we did against Melbourne is switching the ball at the G. Not even close to looking like switching the ball. I don't know if it's because Marvel's not as wide as the G, but we just didn't use the space like we did last week. So I don't know if that was a deliberate thing or Adelaide just corralled us and we couldn't do that. Shane says, Kent seriously on the march, outside players screaming for it, and he foot passes it to an Adelaide player 15 metres away. He must be dropped just for that. Taylor Walker is poo and only beats the poor Saints. Geez, we could do with a decent centre-half back. Walker is shite, but Saints have no answer. Richo has to go. That's ridiculous. No chance. Look, we lost and we didn't play well, but if this was last year, the margin would have been 10 plus goals. That's what I said, what I think. We are 4-2 inside the 8 with a tough next week. So if we can win one of the next 3, I'll be happy. Any more and I'll be ecstatic. A bad loss today, but on the whole, this season has been good. Looking forward to the rest of the year. We are a maturing side, still learning. Outcoached, devastated. Jace's thoughts on Nathan Brown. I thought Nathan Brown wasn't disgraced, but a few things he did today, like in the last quarter when he ran forward and then Walker ran towards goal and he got the ball. I just don't know why you'd run off your direct opponent like that. You're not fast, and Walker's classic, going to run the other way and get the ball over the top. That's what Tex Walker does so well. That game wasn't anything short of garbage, apart from the odd few who busted their asses. The group needs to have a good look at themselves. Plan B, no such thing. Matty Parker, all guts. If Longer plays again, I will toss out the supporter membership. Isaac Smith reckons, I think we really felt the miss of Loney. Adam says, how bad is Brown? He was atrocious. Next week, we may as well bring in Marsh. At least he's athletic and will give us something out of the back line. Did Bruce play injured? I genuinely think Bruce played injured. I think losing Marshall was big enough and we couldn't afford to lose Bruce, but I 100% think that he had possibly gastro. That's the illness that's been going around. That's why Marshall couldn't play, why Bryce Gibbs was withdrawn from this team as well. Beaten around the contest all night. Is Bruce playing hurt? What has happened to him? I think he is. Anyway, guys, I might leave it at that. There are so many comments here. I might go through a few more if that's cool. Calvin says, Bruce wasn't there at all today. Loney out early was stiff. Marshall out. Crook hurt us. Parker still special. Dean Kent is the worst player in the AFL. I wouldn't go that far. Context is key. Still in the top 8. Consistent improvement this year, although today is still disappointing. When we brought the pressure and controlled the play, we were well on top. Got out coached from quarter time. As we often say, a plan B and taking opportunities in front of goal is a big difference. Had an off game, move on to next week. I think that's kind of what I'm going to leave it at, guys. I think that we just didn't take our opportunities. Adelaide, to be fair, kicked ridiculously straight for the first half. I think they kicked the first 6 or 7 goals straight without a point, and we kicked 3-6 in the first quarter. And if you turn that into 8-1 or something, 8-1, and they kick their 3 goals, you're 5 goals clear at quarter time. They have to play defenses. They're on the back foot, but we let them get back into the game. They got confidence, and when a team like Adelaide gets confidence, they get on top, they get on a roll, and that's exactly what happened. But it is what it is, guys. Hopefully the guys, they just review it deeply during the week and come back against a very good team. We've got a big month ahead. We've got GWS away. We've got West Coast at home. We've got Collingwood at the G, followed by Carlton, Port Adelaide in China. There's some big games coming up, guys. So if we can pinch 2, 3 of those would be good. I'd love 3 of those. I don't know where they'd come from, but 3 would be awesome. But let's just take it week by week. Disappointing again. We lost by 29 points, but hopefully it's a learning lesson. You know, we have a lot of players that haven't played more than 10 games, and hopefully this loss really does fire in their belly and we come out hard next week. We always generally match up pretty well against the Giants, so we'll see how we go. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you know any Saints fans, tag them, share this page with them, comment your thoughts, and I'll respond when I can. And I'll see you for the preview for the GWS game on Thursday night. See you then, guys. Thanks.